founder of Team Black. I'm here chatting with Staxx.
Man, I like Connor, but Nate 8 days a week, twice on Sunday. You know what I mean? It's too big, too long, too strong, too good at cardio. And I like Connor. He's a cool cat. Talk shit and that. I think Connor might win the shit talking exchange, but that's about it, honestly. I don't even know if he'd win that.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Dan Black. I just wanted to come on here before we get the show started and give a shout out to everyone that takes the time to watch my show. I really appreciate you guys, and we're almost at 8,000 subscribers. I never thought I would be at this place, and here we are. And you know the next stop. 10,000 and then 20,000, and it's gonna keep going and going. And I'm really blessed to be able to do what I'm doing now. And I got a really good interview for you guys, and I got a special treat for you guys after this interview's done. So I hope you guys like it. This is Dan Black. He is Nick and Nate Diaz's coach, if you don't know who he is. And Latin Butterfly, how are you? Glitz, thank you for getting a subscription. There's going to be a lot of really good content going on members only. And if you're not a member, you won't see it. So make sure you get your membership. And don't forget, we got the toy drive going. There's 2 more days left. And if you want to donate, you can hit up the Cash App. It's Chatting with Staxx. Or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, all that good stuff. We're trying to help some kids this Christmas so that they don't have a bad Christmas. But without any further ado, let's get into part 3 of Dan Black. Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Dan Black.
Yeah, ultimately, you want to get some type of base. I see a lot of guys, they're like, oh, I want to be an MMA fighter, but then you ask them where they're training, they're like, oh, I'm training MMA, but they're not really good at anything. You know what I mean? So I'd say get good at the sports that make up
One
MMA
guy told
too.
me they were training UFC. They said,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're training UFC, huh?
Yeah. You see those guys at UFC gym? Like, what do you do? They're like, I train UFC. I'm like, okay, But yeah, for me, I've always thought that it's better to get good at something, that one of the disciplines that make up MMA, and you see that now at the higher level, right? Like most of the guys that are good in UFC, they got really good at one thing first, and then they added to it. So I'd say try to get good at wrestling, or you're probably gonna have something you gravitate to a little differently. You know, I think that's one cool thing about MMA is if you've seen guys that, you know, Stephen Thompson was very successful. He was a karate guy. You see guys that are highly successful that were wrestlers. You see guys that were highly successful jiu-jitsu guys. You know what I mean? They all had to end up putting it all together and learning everything at some point, but they got good at something first. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say too, go for it. You know, like shoot for the stars. You know, if you miss by a little bit, you're still way up there in the heavens. You know what I mean? So get out there. Time goes fast. Tomorrow's never promised. So if you want to do it, go for it. You know, you gotta believe in yourself and go for it. You know, so most of the successful people
You think
that I know in
offense,
MMA.
defense, 50-50? Or
You know, both. I think everyone's gonna have their own style, right? Like some guys, some guys, their offense is their best defense. You know what I mean? And then some guys are just such defensive masters. You know, like you know, Floyd Mayweather, for example, for boxing, right? He's so good because you can't touch him. My friend Danny Bill, I just had him out here for a seminar. In Muay Thai, he was 136 wins, 12 losses in Muay Thai in the 90s against like all the best Thais in Thailand. Like that's insane. You know what I mean? You probably had like close to 200 fights total and
yeah,
lost like
that's
12 of them. You know what I mean? So, and he's a guy that's, you know, a defensive master. He's just so good at defense. Lertzilla, another guy, he's just, you know, he's so impossible to hit. If you can't hit me, then how are you going to beat me if you can't knock me out? You know what I mean? So I think
yeah, you
defense is
can't hit me, you
definitely.
can't hurt me, right?
Yeah, you know, if you know, I do stress defense with a lot of my guys because it's like, hey, if they're not knocking you out, then you're halfway to winning. You still have to add the offensive components, right? And then you have some guys where it's like, okay, you can kind of tell, like defense, they're just not going to get it. So it's like, okay, you just got to double down on your offense. You know, like you got to be so offensive that your offense is your
Yeah,
defense. You know, it's gonna vary based on your fighter,
yeah,
and
man.
everyone kind of has different style. You know what I mean? So everybody has different attributes too, right? Like some guys they have a great chin, so you know they get hit with a fucking baseball bat and they're gonna walk through it. Where other guys, you know, a strong wind blows and they're rocked. You know, so you know you'll see
I've
guys
seen
like
some
that.
guys get. I'm sure you've seen it. You've seen guys get
Yeah,
hit so hard and they're still conscious. Like, what the fuck? What's gonna take them
yeah.
down, man?
Yeah, no, you have some guys like that, you know, that are just they have a crazy fucking ability to take punishment. They can, you know, they can take crazy amount of damage.
Gracie would get punched in the jaw a lot, right, and
Yeah,
not go
yeah, no,
down.
yeah. Hoist had a chin, man. You'd never really see him get slapped. You know what I mean? So you know, like
Uh,
some guys, you know, they've got a chin. Some guys don't have a chin. Some guys are, you know, they're just, you know, they had. I think a lot of them had concussions before, right? They played football. It's something where they have previous, you know, head injuries. And so like I always try to ask that when I have a guy coming in, you know, if I'm training them, because if I know you have a history of head injuries, then we're doubling down on the defense. Like you're probably going to get hit eventually, but I want to do everything we can to minimize you getting hit. So you're going to have to just be a different type of fighter. You have to fight different, you know. Whereas, you know, some guys are they're some guys are the bulls, some guys need to be the matador, you know. So it all depends on the guy.
and how prevalent is CTE MMA?
Well, I mean, we don't really know because they have to like cut open your brain after you're dead to see if you even have it, right? I don't think they've.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
I
you're
don't.
dead.
I don't think they've been able to determine that yet. I saw a post by BJ Penn though where he said like CTE was fake and it's to cover up murder. So you're just like, man, like it kind of seems like a sign of CTE, you know. But you know, yeah, like
Possibly. I mean,
possibly, you
Aaron
know.
Hernandez had it, right?
Yeah, yeah, this is I think any contact sport where you're getting, you know, hit in the head, it's going to carry some risk of it. So I think yeah, I always try to, you know, emphasize that's another reason why I emphasize defense to my guys, you know, even if you're a guy that, you know, has a chin, if like I had a chin, I have a head like a brick, and so I'm like, okay, since I actually have a chin, I'm going to be using that to work on my defense. You know what I mean? Because if I take one, then whatever, it's probably not going to do anything anyway. You know, I got a pretty good chin, But if you're just sitting there taking it the whole time,
I can tell you're the guy. You're the guy that I hit. You're just standing there like, what's up? Fuck.
yeah. That's kind of how I was, you know. I'd like, you know, but then like I'm like, okay, like, you know, I think you only have so many you can take, no matter who you are, you know. So I think even if you have a great chin, like Rod Tang, you ever watch One FC, the fighter Rod Tang? That guy's crazy. He, you know, lets you hit him and just, you know, taunts you and laughs at you after you hit him as hard as you can. You know, which is a good strategy, you know.
Yeah, they like go up with their hands down, right?
Yeah. If you crack a guy as hard as you can,
what's
and
his name? Goes
you,
with his hands down and shit.
Yeah, no, there's guys like that, you know, and so, you know, I think that's cool if you can do that, but I think you should probably, if you are like that, you should still be working a lot on your defense because now, you know, you have extra, you know, protection. If you do end up taking one, you know, then you probably got a chin and can still walk through it.
Miller used to do that same shit, right?
Yeah. I always think it's just a matter of time till that catches up with you, though. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, sometimes it's good for taunting, right? Like it's good to, because you make the guy think, like, you know, if I'm coming at you, yelling for you to hit me, you know, then you're kind of thinking like, man, this guy's crazy, or you might think it's a setup, right? You're waiting for me to swing, and then you're going to swing the same time, you know. So, you know, it can be a good strategy. Like I said, for me, it's about longevity too. So even my guys that have a chin, I'm trying to, you know, stress to them like, hey, you know, you still want to work your defense because MMA is different. Like, you know, you're not fighting with the big ass boxing glove. You know, those little gloves, they hit differently. And then with MMA, you have to worry about elbows, right? So it's like, okay, you can take a punch, but the guy split your fucking head open. You know what I mean? Now you're bleeding all over the place. They see your brain through your scalp, you know, so it's tough to fight. So I think being evasive and elusive definitely is something that people want to work on, no matter if they have a chin or if they don't, you know. I think you definitely want to work a strong defense and have a good offense, you know. I don't think you want to be too defensive because you got two guys that are super defensive, then it's like, okay, what am I watching, you know? I used to always say that about UFC, like, what was that, 10 years ago, because you'd have all these
Forrest
wrestlers.
Griffin, Stephen Bonner fight.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, right? Like Corey Schaefer, he's a ISKA president for kickboxing. He used to always be like, people don't watch fighting for the fighting; they watch fighting for the human drama that you only see in fighting. You know, fighting is the only sport where you could be up, like, you know, like in football, like if you're up like 80-0, like, I'm not coming back. You know what I mean? There's a certain point in other sports where there's no chance of coming back on the points. MMA is a sport where, like, if me and you are fighting, you could be whooping me up like every single second of the fight, and in the last 10 seconds I knock you out or I choke you out, or, you know, that's something unique to fight sports where the score can go from 100-0 to the guy that was completely out of it wins. You know what I mean? So I think that's something, you know, unique to fighting, and that's something why people watch fighting. You know, there's a different, you know, drama element in fighting that you don't see in other sports. You know, and I think that was probably the real first sport, man. You know what I mean? Like, as humans, like, you know, I don't think our ancient ancestors were
there was
baseball.
Cavemen fighting, man.
Cavemen fighting, man. You know,
like, give me your food.
Yeah, you gotta fight for your food. You know, it's that was probably like the first real, you know, thing.
Your women, you gotta
right.
The cavemen, they would knock them with the club. And all that shit.
Yeah, you know, and you'd have to fight off dinosaurs. You know, like, you know. So I think fighting is just something shit, primal. Man. It's something
Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, you know,
saber-toothed cats and shit.
Running and fighting. Those were like the first things I think humans were doing. You know, so it's I just saw a picture earlier. It was some ancient. It was like, you know, the Greek dudes that are like the half horse. It was like doing a heel hook on a dude. I was like, geez, those guys are doing heel hooks. Yeah, it's like he was doing a heel, like, it's a legit. He was doing an inside heel hook in a picture. I'm just like, man, you know, the fucking Minotaurs were heel hooking people thousands of years ago. So come on.
Oh man, that's hilarious. It's hilarious, man. It's like an 8,000-year-old painting.
Yeah.
Dude's arm bar and fucking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like all these moves,
This
I
has
think.
been great, man.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's been good, man. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming on. You're welcome back here anytime. And it's been great. People are gonna love this interview. And you want to give anyone a shout out before we go, or tell about your fight coming up? Because I'm gonna get this out before the weekend.
Yeah. No, so make sure to check A1 Combat. That's gonna be Uriah Faber show, November 18th. It's gonna be Hard Rock, Sacramento, and then let's see, we have Mason Hartshorn, we got Dominic Ducharme, we got James Guidry fighting on that one. That's the next like really big one that I have coming up. So shout out to all my fighters that give me a reason for living. And shout out to all my teammates. All the dudes at Saber, all the dudes NCFA, Gil Melendez, Nick Diaz Academy, Team Doom Damaya, my brother. All those guys that I train with every day. So yeah, just a shout out to all the sponsors that support us. Kinder's Barbecue, Backpack Boys, AMB Law Firm. That one right there is a big one. So yeah, just all the people that keep coming and fucking with us and believing in us, man, keeps us going. So yeah.
Shout out to Randy Marshall for making this possible.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Randy,
you.
what's up? Oh yeah.
My man Randy. And if you guys like this type of content, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like it, start your own podcast.
Yeah.
What's good, everybody? I'm back. Hope you guys like that one. That's part 3 of a 3-part interview that I did with Dan. And I got a special treat for you guys. Here is Nick Diaz talking about why he got into karate and stuff.
Fucking breaks brick right on your shit. Again? Dude, I've had motherfucker break brick on me and it ain't cool. You know what I mean? That's because you did karate, probably.
So if you're gonna hit someone, what do you have to do?
I'm just saying, don't knock karate and say, like this guy's talking about learning boxing, and I'm talking about everybody's talking about being coordinated and this and that.
I'm getting coordinated.
Like you didn't do karate. I don't think you did karate when you were a kid. You didn't do karate.
I did judo.
I know girls and kids and people that did karate and they don't even know it, but they'll break brick on your face. All of a sudden out of nowhere, Kia. Boom. They don't even know it. Like, whoa, how'd you learn to hit people like that? They don't realize. They're like, yeah, all excited, happy, like.
All different.
Yeah, dude. Some people, they do karate when they're growing up, but they don't even know it. They're just like, oh, I gotta learn. I'm like, well,
you just do that.
You're actually somebody that did karate for a couple years when you were a kid, so you don't realize that normal people can't hit. They're not coordinated to hit stuff and kick stuff, punch. I mean, karate, they teach you some good basic shit, They teach you how to have a strong stance. They teach you little blocking, that you're supposed to block even, or, they're having you fucking break shit, hit shit, make noises when you hit. That's crazy. That teaches you how to hit. And then people when they're 20, they try to do that, and they can't do it now. But the other people when they're like, they did a little bit of karate when they were a kid, now they can just do that. They just go right back to it. Yeah, I've done this before. I'm like, it's like, it goes further than you think. Like, parents put your kids in karate, too. Jiu-jitsu helps also. You need some karate.
Jiu-jitsu helps.
Well, it wasn't around all the time when I was a kid, so I did what I could, and what I could do was karate because that was what was there. So I did that shit. Luckily, I did that. Because then when it's time to hit somebody, I fucking, I fucking crack somebody.
Broke brick.
Yeah, I was breaking brick on people. Mauricio wasn't breaking brick on people. He didn't karate, but he jiu-jitsu better than me. So, you know what I mean? But he didn't do karate when he was a kid. If he did karate when he was a kid, he's like, oh, they'd have been like, oh, Mauricio does karate. Right? And they would have been like, it's time for you to do karate with this guy because you do karate. That's how it was at the academy.
Dude, I was like
They
the
didn't bug him to hit and punch because they knew he didn't do karate.
I didn't know
He was
tennis,
uncoordinated.
soccer,
He had
everything.
good jiu-jitsu, but
I
like
suck
it wasn't a hitter. I got shut up there. They're like, oh, this kid hits people and things. And he's violent and destructive. Let's put him to box the boxer because the boxer probably whooped his ass. And I fucking did karate on that fool. Fucked him up. And he went outside and threw it.
I hope you guys like this content. I got a lot more things to bring you that'll probably shock you. So just keep watching, keep subscribing, tell a friend to tell a friend. Shout out to Miles, thank you. And Latin Butterfly, thank you for spreading the word about my show. I really appreciate it. We are, I think, 12 away from 8,000 subscribers. And I couldn't be happier. Things are really going in a great direction. You guys will see some of the things I've been working on. I've been constantly grinding every day, trying to better myself and better my craft. And I hope you guys take notice. Hope you guys all have a great Christmas. And if you guys want to help out with the toy drive, you can hit up the Cash App or Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats. We have 2 more days left. So help me, help them. I appreciate all you guys. I'll be back on later. I think around 11 o'clock, I'm going to do it live. And maybe we'll slay some of these mob rats. So if you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you don't like this content, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast.